So, trending indicator. So remember, trending indicators look at the long run trend of the stock. So we start with simple filter rule. Simple filter rule is very naive. So this indicator said it's very simple. So basically is the percentage price change from today and yesterday, which is the small rt, the rate of change, is equal to price of today PT minus PT minus 1 over PT minus 1. So it's percentage change of price between yesterday and today. And so this rate of change, if it's high enough, then higher than the threshold, then you buy. Lower than threshold, you sell. Okay. So usually which price we're using closing price, standard practice. Sometimes you see open, high, low, but you very often use close. And how to determine the threshold delta is usually based on risk preference and based on the stock characteristic. And actually, this also can come from historical data analysis. You can see which delta can give you the best outcome. And this simple filter rule, which said if the price go up today fast enough, and if tomorrow is a buy, and if the price drop so fast enough, then it's a sell. So it's very simple rule, and usually people use it for a benchmark compared to complicated trading strategy. If your trading rule cannot beat this rule, then which means that your trading rule is really bad. Another common benchmark you use in buy and hold. You buy from the first day and hold the last day. If your trading rule cannot beat this kind of rule, also means your rule is also very bad. Look at the graph. So if the price fluctuates like the blue line, okay, and the red and the green line will be the threshold calculated based on the price T minus 1. So if the price go up, shoot up, okay, then you would have a buy signal. If you shoot down low than green dash line, then you would sell. So one thing you see from the filter rule, it just basically used today's price and yesterday price. So basically discard, don't use all the price before. So a more elaborate rule is called moving average, which use more than yesterday price. So first we have to know the concept called moving average. So a simple moving average of prices is basically calculated as today's price plus yesterday one plus n period before and over n, then basically average of n period price is a simple moving average. And based on this moving average, you do similar to what we do in simple filter rule. So you calculate rate of change based on the moving average. So what's exactly formula is the RT, which is the rate of change, or the indicator is using the short run moving average minus the long run over the long run. So the short run in the filter rule is today, long run is yesterday. So now we're getting a more elaborate thing. We don't use the today's price, but using a shorter run average. We don't use yesterday one, we use a longer run average. So short run and long run, usually short run is 5 days, long run is more than 50 days. So what does that mean? It means that the shorter run is more recent prices, much higher than long run prices, which RT will be positive and big. When bigger than one threshold, then you buy. And if the short run more recent prices are lower than the distant price average prices, then you would sell. So besides a simple moving average, you can change it to an exponential moving average. Why you want to do it? because simple moving average, you take every day at the same. But very clearly, more recent price should carry more weight. So you can assign more weight to the more current one and less weight to the more distant past, right? Less weight for distant past. So the easiest way is to systematically to do the weighting is an exponential one, which means that you give a beta weighting to today's one. Look at the formula. Okay, look at the is you give beta rating to the today's one, but you give beta plus 1 minus beta to the yesterday one. Okay, beta plus 1 times 1 minus beta is less than beta because beta is between 0 and 1. And 2 days ago, the price you would weight it as beta times 1 minus beta square. So it's even smaller. So this formula, why we want to use it? Because it's a very nice, attractive formula, updating formula, which said today's EMAs today, okay, is average, a weighted average of today's price, okay, beta times PT, and 1 minus beta of yesterday EMA. Later you will see when you do calculation, this is very handy. And here something is not specified yet, is the beta, which is called smoothing coefficient. And this coefficient usually is calculated, there are many ways to calculate, but we will stick on this formula 2 over n plus 1. N is number of days you want to do, and it's comparable to the simple moving average. If you use 15 days simple moving average, then you put n is 15, right? So that is how you calculate. And you may ask, this updating formula or the EMA formula you require the first value, right? Because update formula requires first value, or the very long formula require long series. So usually as standard practice, the first EMA we use the SMA, and subsequent EMA from second onward you use the update formula. So for the EMA, the rule is exactly the same. Just replace SMA by EMA. So basically, also look at how the recent prices change compared to distant past prices. So the formula is EMA of short run minus EMA long run over EMA long run. If this indicator is higher than certain threshold, then you buy. Lower than certain threshold, then you sell. So look at the graph. So the RT can fluctuate up and down across time, and we have threshold delta and negative delta. And if it is higher than delta, you buy. Lower than negative delta, then you sell. And here I have buy and sell the same delta. You can have more elaborate rule, have different delta, different value for buy, and different value for sell. Maybe you want a higher value for buy and lower value for sell if you're risk averse, or you can, if you're risk loving, then you may have smaller buy and bigger for sale. So after EMA, we're going to talk about interesting rule. Is called MACD. It's a moving average convergent divergence. So this looks like a funny name, and indeed this is pretty useful. And some people use the MACD, and so the MACD is pretty a very predictable, very profitable, very useful indicator. So MACD is rather complicated at the first glance, but once you know, then it's not that difficult. So MACD is basically the difference between the fast and slow EMA. So basically MACD, you have to define what is a short run and long run. Okay, first you calculate the short run EMA and long EMA, and take the difference of them, then give you MACD. Okay, and once a MACD, you do EMA and MACD further. So you smooth it, because we use exponential moving average is smoother. Okay, and you smooth it with a parameter K. Okay, so short run usually use 12 day, long run use 26 day, and the smooth line K use 9 days. So how you trade based on the MACD is rather simple. Basically compare the MACD and a signal line. Remember, one signal is the smoothed version of the MACD. Okay, and look at how MACD change according based on the signal. And remember, MACD is what? MACD is looking at how short run EMA compared to long run EMA, right? So it's how short recent price move, and by comparing the MACD and signal, you're looking at how recent price compared to the past price change across time. So the standard rule is this: if the MACD cross the signal line from below to above, the MACD is moving up, okay, moving faster, then you buy. If MACD fall down signal line, then you sell. So it's not easy to see from the formula, but look at the graphs. You can see the blue line is the MACD, the red dashed line is signal line. So the first thing you see the MACD fall from above to below and cross the signal line, okay, then it's a sell. The next one you see the MACD is from below to above the signal line, then it is a buy.